One afternoon Charles was on the beach, having a few chilled gorgeously refreshing beers when he had a sudden desire to learn about the art of subconscious persuasion. The human brain is often considered one of the most complex structures known to us. Its intricate network of approximately 86 billion neurons and their countless connections. But with some creativity it can be easily manipulated. A few subconscious persuasion techniques can enable you to get almost anything you want, but use the techniques ethically. The human brain could be thought of as having two parts, the conscious and the subconscious mind. The conscious mind is like the security guard. He or she has a job to filter information before it gets to the subconscious mind. However, learning a few subconscious methods, we can bypass the security guard and get ideas straight to the subconscious mind. Subliminal means below the level of the conscious mind. Companies have been accused of using subliminal messages in their advertising. Subliminal messages work on a subconscious level, bypassing the conscious mind and directly influencing the subconscious mind. The idea behind using subliminal messages is that they can shape perceptions, attitudes, and actions without the person's explicit knowledge or consent. KFC has ran a television commercial in which a bill in a lettuce pile appeared for a split second. The company later admitted to this being a subliminal message and claimed it was part of a promotion to encourage viewers to watch the ads more closely. Another clever example of subconscious persuasion is your car design. Manufacturers may or may not intentionally design cars to look like faces, but people often perceive the front of a car as having facial features due to a psychological phenomenon called pareidolia. Pareidolia is a tendency for the human brain to interpret random stimuli, such as shapes or patterns, as recognizable objects or faces. The front of a car typically has headlights, a grille, and a bumper, which can be interpreted as eyes, a mouth, and a chin, respectively. The car with its aggressive face appealed to Charles subconsciously, as that's the type of man he is. Wow, this subconscious stuff is cool. Subconscious framing is a technique used in psychology and communication to influence people's thoughts, feelings, and behaviors by subtly shaping their perceptions. Charles is trying to sell an eco-friendly car to Sarah. He knows that using the subconscious framing method can help him persuade Sarah to consider the car's benefits. Charles emphasizing the car's fuel efficiency, telling Sarah that it gets 60 miles per gallon. He uses words like savings and value to frame the conversation positively. Next, he highlights the environmental impact of traditional cars by showing Sarah a picture of a polluted city. This creates an emotional response in Sarah's subconscious mind, associating traditional cars with pollution. To further emphasize the eco-friendly car's benefits, he shows Sarah an image of a nice deer in the forest. This subtly frames the eco-friendly car as a solution to pollution and a way to protect the environment for future generations. The deal is done. By using subconscious framing, Charles was able to guide Sarah's thoughts and emotions, making her more receptive to the idea of purchasing an eco-friendly car. Another subconscious persuasion method is known as mirroring. It's a technique used in psychology and communication to establish rapport and trust with others. It involves subtly mimicking another person's body language, behaviors, and speech patterns, tone and volume to create a sense of connection and familiarity. The life of Charles, he calls up and asks his girlfriend to the cinema, but she says no, it's so boring, so how can he persuade her? She used to go with her ex all the time and said it was brilliant. Charles knows that smell can be used to subconsciously persuade someone, so buys some expensive popcorn flavor candles, lights them up before she comes round. She turns up, smells the popcorn, remembers how brilliant the cinema used to be, gets all happy, and then she asks Charles if they can go to the cinema. The subconscious power of good scent. He slaps a bit of brood on to enhance the chance of a back row snog. Happy days. The life of Charles. Charles wants to pop the question again, yes again. Last time he proposed on a cold, rainy, cloudy afternoon with a very small ring, and although she said she loved him, she told him to get lost and ran off with the milkman for 6 months. Charles knows that sight and the items that the eyes can see can be used to subconsciously persuade someone. So this time he's took her to a log cabin in a beautiful forest, making sure the sun was shining. Oh, and with a bigger, more expensive ring. And even before he asks the question, she said, "I will marry you." Happy days. The life of Charles. He now has a little issue. He needs to get married quick before she changes her mind. However, he's skint. He knows that sound can be used to subconsciously persuade someone. So, he goes to see his cousin Kevin to ask if he wants to go to a music festival and says he has 2 free tickets. Kevin is well up for it. After a few hours of the beautiful beats and rhythms, Charles asks Kevin for a loan of £10,000 and Kevin says, "Yes, no problem mate, pay me back whenever." The music had made Kevin feel good, real good. So that's a few examples of subconscious persuasion techniques that are available to anyone with some imagination and energy. Use them wisely and nicely. Like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video.